Okay, guys, welcome back to a new video here. I got a wild one for you today. We're seeing a lot of Trump supporters actually turn on Donald Trump over his alleged plan in the Gaza Strip for a U.S. takeover, which is kind of more in line with the neoconservative George Bush Republicans, more than like many of the MAGA Republicans that we've seen in recent years. And one of these people is Saagar Enjeti of Breaking Point, where he absolutely destroyed Donald Trump and this plan, basically in shock. Like, what is going on here? This is not what we campaigned for at all, and it's going to be interesting to see because it's going to be a split in the Republican Party if Trump does go forward with this plan. Many people were saying, hey, he's just negotiating. He doesn't actually think this, but it's becoming pretty clear Trump intends to do something with the Gaza Strip with some sort of U.S. involvement, whether he gives it to Israel, which, that's kind of what I think he's probably intending to do, or if he actually is serious about U.S. ownership of the Gaza Strip, which is again, insane nation building on a historic level, which not even George Bush and Dick Cheney could have imagined in their wildest dream. The Gaza Strip, I mean, what an insane, insane idea. Now, Saagar Enjeti absolutely rips him for this. And honestly, he's been pretty critical of the Trump administration this early on. And it's pretty wild to see. So I'm going to show you the clip of Saagar just totally shocked about what the hell is going on here. We'll show you the clip and then we'll get right into it. And by the way, guys, before I go any further, make sure to like and subscribe. It's super good for the algorithm. And if you want to support the channel in any way, my Patreon link is in the description as well. And Amazon links and products I use are also in the description. So here's the clip. We'll talk about it in a second. Here it is, guys.
Shout questions. Right now on the White House schedule that I'm looking at, both of those are closed, which means that they will not be making a declaration. I'm thinking at the request of the King of Jordan, but I can't even wrap my head around where this bullshit came from, because the crazy thing is that these statements are coming from the President of the United States. So it's not only a declaration of we're going to own Gaza and we're going to like split it up into a great international zone where no U.S. troops will be there. The Israelis will watch it, but they're not going to have sovereignty because we're going to own it and we're going to rent it and then we'll rebuild it. And in the meantime, people will go to Jordan and to Egypt, where both of those countries said they would rather go to war than to do that. And what exactly why did we decide to underwrite for the destruction of this place, and now we have to pay for it and administer? It's the most insane thing. The only thing I can hang my hat on is that poll we showed yesterday, which is only 13% of Americans were like, yeah, that's a good idea. Actually, by the way, I want to meet those people. Who are you? Who is out there? Because if you stack it together with everything that is happening right now, it is clear that we are talking about one of the most ambitious nation-building projects in American history, to have to rebuild a place burned to the ground by supposedly our foreign ally. We have to facilitate the ethnic cleansing of this territory, use U.S. policy to force other countries to take that population, and then we have to pay for it. I mean, I don't remember this being a significant part of the campaign, or, put aside the anti-war stuff. Just think about at a basic level, this whole idea of make America great again, when we're talking here about a unilateral nation-building program for a foreign nation, for a foreign population. It's like on every level, it is absolute madness.
And on probably the most sensitive, some of the most sensitive land on the entire planet.
I genuinely, I don't know where this shit comes from. What concerns me the most is, like you said, the apologia that we largely see from MAGA media and others who are just like, because we saw this in Afghanistan. Everybody just turned, all of a sudden, when we withdrew from Afghanistan, it's like, oh, well, we should have held on to Bagram and all of this. And then you ask Trump and you're like, well, we actually should have kept troops there the whole time. You're like, okay, so you didn't actually say
You never meant it. Yeah, well, and the other thing is, like...
Okay, so Saagar's obviously not happy, and his entire point is, hey, you didn't mention this at all during the campaign. Why is that exactly? I can tell you why, because a lot of his donors wanted this to happen, and obviously it's not a popular thing. Like he says, only a small percentage of the American public would support something insane like this. But the reason why I think it's possible is you're already seeing people on Fox News, for example, basically saying, oh, this is a great idea. Because again, if Trump says it, they'll go along with it. So Saagar's making the point. He's concerned, like, hey, the American people might actually, or he might be able to get away with this because of the big right-wing media apparatus that would support him. And listen, guys, there's a lot of right-wingers who claim to be anti-war and anti-interventionism. And hey, this is the time. If Trump is actually serious about going into the Gaza Strip, are people like Tucker Carlson and Charlie Kirk going to actually say, "Hey, this is insane. Maybe Trump shouldn't do this"? No, I don't know. Maybe they will, but I wouldn't hold my breath because this would just be an insane thing to do. Not to mention, I mean, we're going to do Israel's dirty work. So after they bomb the Gaza Strip to smithereens, we're going to go in and clean it up and then buy it or sort of refurbish it and then own it. What? It makes absolutely no sense. And by the way, who is going to be living in the Gaza Strip if we do this? You think American citizens are going to leave from the mainland of the United States to go and live in the Gaza Strip? Of course not. You know who's going to be living there? It's going to be Israeli settlers living there, which is honestly probably the entire point of this entire thing that Trump might not just say openly, but I think it's pretty obvious. The idea that Trump just went out there and said this on his own, I don't buy that for a second. Obviously, he said this in a negotiation with Netanyahu and the Israeli government, but before he gave this statement, I don't buy that he just came up with this on his own. I think that's complete bullshit. And frankly, people pushing that, I don't know what they're talking about. And there's no evidence to support that Netanyahu had no idea about it. So again, the Israelis love this, by the way. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. So the entire thing is just totally insane. And listen, credit to Saagar for actually ripping on Trump here because he's been pretty supportive in a number of other instances. I believe he definitely did vote for Trump. But hey, I mean, this is just indefensible. So, I mean, of course, and he calls it out for ethnic cleansing, which is what it is if they actually go through with this. The entire thing is insane. Trump did not campaign on this. And frankly, the United States should not be intervening in this foreign conflict. And by the way, if he actually gets what he says in displacing the entire Palestinian population, which is that's ethnic cleansing, there's no question about it. Do you think they're going to leave like voluntarily? Of course not. That's not going to happen at all. The U.S. troops will obviously have to be deployed, and I'm telling you right now, people will get to the streets if that happens. So the only hope is going to be there's enough pushback from his base to stop this. But unfortunately, I don't know if that's the case. I hope it is, but these days, I don't know what to think. Just the entire thing is insane. But good on Saagar for actually calling him out there. Clearly, like he's like, "What the hell?" I mean, are we seriously doing this right now? So again, good on Saagar for actually calling him out. But the entire thing is totally insane. Again, let me know what you guys think about this in the comments section. Again, make sure to like and subscribe. It's super good for the algorithm. Thank you guys for watching, and have a good weekend. And I'll see you guys soon. Thanks, guys.